Hello, everybody, and welcome along to the Long Run Show live stream and podcast brought to you by the 40 Runs Running community and our generous sponsors, Skechers. I'm Ian Wilkinson, and tonight, along with the small but beautifully formed team of Sabrina Ahmed and Mr. Chris Ford, we'll be talking to you about whether the London Marathon is too cheap. If you've got a place, you'll be well into your plan by now. So I'm sure that you will also have questions about how things have got, and even tell us how your campaign is going, how you're getting along. So please use the comments facility, join in the fun, and ask your questions. Chris is no Toby tonight, so Chris is driving.
Loosely, I would say I'm sat here, but I don't really know what I'm doing, and I don't know where we're going. But what's the worst? I do it on a Monday night, all by myself now, and I've not managed to cock that up yet. So,
do you think that must breed a bit of confidence that you're going to be actually able to complete the task tonight? Then?
Yeah, but I don't see Tobe does all this stuff. Like, I'm just about to put a link in for like the Facebook users so we can see that. I don't do any Monday. I just literally switch the camera on, right, and start talking absolute nonsense about running shoes. And so we try and keep this a little bit more professional. That said, there's only three of us tonight because Toby has to work with his active job. So it was meant to be four of us tonight because Hayden's on his saga holiday in Tenerife. Evening, Hayden.
Yeah, if his marathon jet setting wasn't enough, he's gone to Tenerife for a week.
Yeah, he's gone out there. But apparently there is a rumour, and it's not confirmed, but apparently he is going to be performing in the hotel tonight with some of his old ex-band members. So if you're in Tenerife and you're staying at the Saga Hotel, Hayden, it is rumoured that he's going to be on stage tonight. So just watch out for that.
Was it a boy band? Or was it
it was. Genuinely, it was. It was. Do you remember the boy band 5?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It wasn't in that.
Right.
But it was in one, but I only had one hit single, and then that was it.
No.
Was it even
that's one more than I've had.
Yeah. So that's why he's gone out. He's gone out to Saga. He does it. Hayden occasionally between races will go away and do these like concerts and stuff like that at these Saga hotels because of his age and whatnot. I mean,
and the fan base. I suppose the fan base has grown up with him, haven't they?
Well, this is what I'm saying to you. So, yeah. Oh, hang on. We might have a problem. Somebody's watching live from Tenerife. If you're listening to the podcast, I've just realised Hayden's watching live on YouTube. Put a comment up. It's all true. You can't deny it. So anyway, that's where. So anyway, my point is that it was meant to be 4 tonight, but we're down to 3. So, but it doesn't matter.
Oh, but what a team! Dream team still. Yeah, brilliant. So, Chris, now are you on the mend now, mate? Because you've been on your sickbed for a little while.
I've been rotten, and now Mrs. Ford's got it as well. So that's why I don't know whether we were late or not, but I was rotten. I said about it on the live stream on Monday. I mean, and I've still got it. Like I was taking antibiotics still today, 10 days after, and like it's just I've never been that ill. Like even COVID. Like COVID was like a walk in the park compared to what I had. It was miserable.
And, if you didn't catch the show last week, we talked about whether having a bit of time off will affect your training plan. I mean, how have you reassessed? Because you've got London and Manchester, so you're about 6 weeks in. How have you reassessed about where you're going and where you're going to go?
Well, this week, I'm one of those people that doesn't really get too worried about stuff in training because it tends to take care of itself. I said it on here. I don't really train for a time. Yeah, I've got a time in mind really to keep me honest in my training. But other than that, I don't really care if I do it or not. So in terms of my goals, I don't really need to reassess them because my goal is always just to run about and cock about with a camera for a bit and run with my mates. Do you know what I mean? That's all. But that said, it has been tricky this week getting back onto it. The doctor said I could start running again on Tuesday, which is what I did. And I've been running to time. I've not been running to distance, which is handy, really, because the GPS in London this week's been shocking. Each run has been a different distance. One day I was doing 2.5 miles. Next day I was doing 3.2. So, again, I don't care. I'm running to a time. So, like today I set out to run, might sound an odd number, but 27 minutes, because That's about 9-minute miles, something like that. So that's fine with me. And then the other day I was looking for half an hour, and the other day I was looking for a little bit quicker. So I'm looking to run to time, not to distance. I couldn't, because I know the route anyway, and I know exactly what it is. Because
so just easing your way back in then, really?
Yeah, I'm just easing my way back in. I've got 16 miles tomorrow, which I plan to run all easy. If I was on plan, let's call it, I would be running quite a larger element of that at goal pace, but I'm not. I'm just going to run it easy. I just want to finish it. And I don't really care how, what my pace is or anything like that. I just want to cover the miles. And then next week, because then I'll have the weekend. I'll rest on Sunday, and then next week I will then build back the mileage that I sort of should be at roughly. We've got 18 miles next weekend. So I'll look to do about 40, 45 miles that week, something like that. And as I build up into that peak part of the plan, that's why it's not the end of the world getting sick this early, because you've still got plenty of time. So that's why I'm not worried about it. I will just build back up. So when I'm in week sort of 10 to 14, I'm doing really hardcore, speed work, the threshold work and all that, sort of really busting my balls in that period of time, because that's ultimately where I'm going to gain from all the sort of foundation work I did at the front end. Does that make any sense?
Yeah. And well, I see it said, Mel said I had it just before the running show and I only just recovered now. So there's your culprit.
Yeah, no, it's Mel. Mel, I love Mel. She's always giving me gifts. She's nicking stuff and then giving me gifts. But no, I honestly, I reckon I caught it at the National Running Show, because we all got sick after it. It was like when we went to the Great North Run, didn't it? We all got sick after that. So yeah, you're gonna get it. It was like whatever it was, 50,000 people or something came through in 2 days, and it's indoors. There wasn't that much hand sanitizer. Nobody uses it anymore. You're gonna get it, right? So, but I was generally, really rough. But we move forward, and
Back
so
in
I'm looking forward to. I've got the Cambridge Half in March, which I'm looking forward to try and see where I'm at. That for me will be a good gauge. If I can pull out something between 140 and 143 and not absolutely die at the end of it, then I'll feel happy, because I ran a 137, 138 at the London Landmarks last year, and I felt fine after that.
Yeah, you boys were flying then, weren't you?
Yeah, like we flew around there. We didn't even realise what time we ran. We weren't really even on our watches because there wasn't much GPS. So we flew around there, and I want to feel like I did after that, even though Edinburgh went tits up. That's because me and Si raced up to Scotland, idiots that we are. But if I can feel like that in March, and even to a degree in April, if I can run around again in a Landmarks, which is closer to race day, but if I can like potter about there and feel like I ain't done nothing at, sort of 150, 145, I know that I'm well where I need to be fitness wise. Again, I don't care necessarily about the times. For me, it's about the fitness, because then that means that my brain is switched on and where it needs to be. But let's see, we've got a long way to go, and it's the same for everybody. Anybody else who's getting sick, and everybody's coughing, right? At the moment, everybody's coughing, everybody's being sick. Don't worry about it. You've got plenty of time, is my message to anybody out there. So
anyway, we've done nearly 10 minutes, not talked to Sabrina yet.
All right.
How rude.
Yeah, you're rude, Wilco.
How rude.
How rude. Should have been ladies first as well, Wilco.
I know.
Yeah.
But, we're an egalitarian podcast.
No, that's true.
Sorry, mate.
No, it's fine.
How are you anyway? You all right?
I'm good. Yeah. I had considering I've done pretty much no running in the last 4 weeks, I've turned into Toby. I had, what was he? Vegan-ish.
Alan got me this cup. It says vegan-ish. There's no milk in this tea. Carry on.
I had a great run last weekend.
At the winter run.
Yeah. I had a
You won it.
I didn't win it. I felt like
Yes,
I won it.
Now you say you had a good run. Now you're underplaying this a bit. You actually smashed your PB, didn't you?
Yeah, I did. I had a great run.
Don't be bashful. Tell the world.
Yeah, I knocked about 2 minutes, 2.5 minutes off nearly.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, so it was great. And considering in the morning in the car, I said to Chris, I'm going to run 10-minute miles. He's got his hand up. Come on.
No, I tell you what, right? This is all down to me. Right, wait there. Shock, right?
Yeah, it is because he didn't say anything to me.
I'm just drinking my vegan tea. Hang on. Right, so no, admin.
Yeah.
Be fair, right? So last time out, she went. Just pretend she's not here. She went for a PB at what's that?
The remembrance run.
The what?
The remembrance run. The one that
Remembrance run, right? But and she's had this a few times. You keep getting. Be fair, you keep getting the stitches or the pain in the side, right? And we was on the way to a race. I can't remember what it was. And we was talking about it, and she told me what she was eating in the morning. And it was like the worst stuff. It was like orange juice, which is just like a disaster waiting to happen. It was like something else and something else.
Weetabix, wasn't it? And milk.
But it was with milk. And if you're lactose intolerant, right, or mildly, dairies. We're not meant as like animals or whatever. We're not meant to have dairy, are we? So if you're slightly intolerant to it, that's going to inflame stuff in your stomach and your bowel and whatnot. So I said to her, look, how close did you have that to, getting up and blah, blah, blah. And we worked it out and we changed it. Be fair, we changed it, didn't we, admin? And by changing it, we've got rid of, we think, touch wood, we think we've got rid of that. And then
so what are you having for, what's your pre-match meal now then?
Toast with peanut butter, a bit of honey. And depending on what time I get up, I didn't have a banana last week, but last time I ran I did. So yeah, but peanut butter on toast seems to be the
but my point is, we've changed it up and then she smashes the life out of it. So you're welcome.
Thanks very much. It's all down to you.
I'm sure there's other factors to consider as well.
Sorry?
No, but
I'm sure there's other stuff to consider, but it's pretty good.
No, it is. But her biggest problem, apart from the fact of me sorting her breakfast out, is confidence. And I would say it's the same for everybody, right? It's having that confidence and belief. I ran with Tracy Whittington on Tuesday, right? She kept me company because I was coughing up my guts. And she smashed it like fastest time for whatever. And I'm not saying Tracy's not confident, but it's having that confidence in which to hold pace or hold speed or hold effort. Sometimes you hit that point at which your brain goes, oh, I don't like this very much. But it's having that confidence to push through. And admins is probably that's your biggest downfall, apart from your breakfast, is the confidence to run hard. And but we're all guilty of it, right? Because we're not elite runners.
And then when you think you're running hard, you look at your stats and everything, and you think, actually, I still had a bit in the tank.
Yeah.
But I think what happened on a course like that Winter 10K, there's two things. One is I had Karen Lumley in front of me. She's about 10 meters in front of me, and I thought I've just got to keep her in my sight. Right, I was like, just keep her in my sight. And she ducked in. She had said, I'm going to duck in and take pictures with the penguins, which she did. And I carried on going. And I just thought, I can't let her catch me now. So in my head, all I had was, she can't catch me. And then she said, interestingly, that she was just behind me and she was trying to keep me in sight and catch me. We came in not far from each other. But also, you see people as you're kind of heading back after the halfway bit, you see people that are just starting their race in later waves. So you've got that thing. She's like, I can't walk, I can't quit because I'm going to see all my mates from the
You'll
club.
know someone will know you.
You just got to keep going.
And she had the vapor flies strapped on. Not letting that one go. She had her white vapor flies. Are they still white, by the way?
They are.
They look really white in the video. I edited the video. It's coming out this weekend. And they look like brand spanking new white.
I mean, they were box fresh, weren't they? They came straight out of the box that morning.
Are you going to wear them? Because we've got that thing. Wilco, are you doing that on March? So in March, something or other, we're all going to a track to see how fast we can run 5K. Are you doing that, Wilco?
Work permitting, I'll come.
Yeah, it's some Wednesday somewhere. I don't know. I've got no idea.
It's in Stevenage, isn't it?
Is it?
Yeah.
So we're all going to and everyone's welcome. What's the name of the company who's doing it?
Well, I don't know who the company is, but it's the 8th of March. It's in Stevenage.
Yeah, look,
we'll stick something up on the Facebook and on the thing.
Yeah, we're
so
going
we can
there.
Point it out when we're more organised.
Yeah, are you going to wear the vapor flies? That's the reason where I'm going with this, by the way.
Yeah, I think so. I'd be stupid not to, wouldn't I?
Speed Beast. Just put that out there.
Well,
so, Chris, you were sidelined, but on, behind the fence, cheering people on Sunday morning.
I was adding a lot of value.
Did you add a lot of value to Sabrina's PB apart from her advice about her breakfast?
I also helped Si to. Oh no, he didn't do that. PB. Watch the video on Sunday. Absolutely hammered the boy. Yeah, no. So I was up there, and I was. It was really hard. The winter 10K, really hard. Nothing hard back then, but it's really hard to win the 10K because because of the staggered wave start, I'm trying to cheer everybody on from one direction and not miss like everybody going the other way. So I managed to miss admin. She flew past me, steam coming off her shoes, and it was like I was waiting for Si because he was taking so long, and so I was waiting for Trace and all them lot to come through. Then I saw Sam and that lot, and I shouted really loud at her. She didn't hear me. And then all of a sudden, I see somebody else running past the other, and I'm like this. I didn't know what to do, so I just thought I'm gonna go home because I was. It was much easier. So then I went. No, actually, I actually went to I went to Pret, which caused a few ripples in the pond because I didn't get anybody else one. Anyway, watch the video on Sunday. You'll find out. Guys, we've got loads of stuff coming in, right?
Yeah.
I'm going to shove some of this up. So we've got Martin's. Okay. Hello. Two says again. Hello. What's this? Steve, considering Hackney, 50 quid, I'd say that, yeah, we'll come on to that, Steve, about the, what's it called, races and the cost of them. We will come
There's one here from Martin McGinley who he said the winter run was amazing, a great day. I got a course PB. It was one of my best runs for a long time. Giving high fives to the Penguins, Polar Bears, thanks to the 40 volunteers.
On that, actually, the 40 volunteers, and I know they were in various places as Huskies and Polar Bears and Penguins and all sorts, but genuinely, that bit where those Penguins were, I've never, I don't think in a race, even London Marathon Day, heard anything like it. You could hear it coming. I remember kind of coming around, I was like, what is that noise? And you come around this bend and they're just going mental. And then you can hear it for like a good few hundred meters, probably half a kilometre as you go off. And honestly, I thought to myself, if we had 40 volunteers lining the whole course or at all of those checkpoints, I reckon 90% of people would get PBs because it was literally just on. It was like
it's like a wave, innit? They so just push you. I saw it on the video when I was editing the video. You could hear them before you see them. Tobe's got the camera. It was mad. They're crazy. By the way, look, I've just seen this comment from XXX. Why don't you get Simon as Toby's Hayden replacement? He's not allowed on until he does a PB. Watch video. Hi all from Phil T. Paul Pitt, who's this? I'm doing what I do on Monday, right? On Mondays on the live stream, right? I don't read any of the comments. I just put them up. Someone could be saying, like, calling me any name under the sun. I don't read them. I just put them on the screen. Pitch says, nice to see someone has made some effort this evening.
It's a bit harsh.
What do you mean, effort?
Yeah, it's fair though, isn't it?
Right, hang on. Super spreader. Yeah, that's Mel's super spreader. I've been listening for a while. Here we go. What about this? We are coming on to talking about races and cost of the majors. I've been listening for a while. I'd love to know why A, admin is called admin, and B, what is admin's real name's admin. She's got it on a vest, and she's wearing it to her next race. By the way, I don't know if they're out, but we've got a new vest out. We've got our Pride vests coming out. They're well good for Pride. It's well good. Check it out in the store. Nice plug, 40. Nice colour jackets at Cambridge Volunteers. Aren't we actually talking about volunteers? Are we looking for volunteers for London Marathon and stuff?
I've got a feeling London Marathon is closed now. I saw a comment the other day saying I think they might have closed that now, but they were looking for landmarks and stuff. So.
Yeah, Mel's in the crowd. I'm sure she'll be out there.
Where's Speedgoat? Speedgoat's doing his active job. I tell you what, he'll be in a hotel with about 3 young ladies.
He's doing a lot of work on a Friday night these days, isn't he, the old boy?
Cost of we'll come on to that winter run. We're getting there. We're getting there, people. Just bear with us. We're trying to. Yeah, we had the Penguins. Absolutely. What's this? Keith, I'll be putting a dodgy comment on the live. To be honest with you, Keith, I'll probably put it up. I wouldn't even know. I put them up like this and then I read them, which I don't think is the right way to do it. I think I should read it and then put it. Oh, by the way, I'm going on Kafuzi's live stream in a couple of weeks. World exclusive.
Oh, are you?
I'm going to get on there. No one will have a clue what I'm saying. Absolutely no idea.
Oh, well, that'll be good. If you're as good on there as he was on us, then you'll have a great time, won't you?
He's an absolute.
We might need to give you some elocution lessons first.
What's that?
We might need to give you some elocution lessons first.
No point. You can't imagine old dog. Do you know what I mean? It'll be like
but that's his USP, isn't it? You know, that's the way he is.
It'll be like we'll be in like a honky tonk, right? At the bar, they'll probably be playing some 2-step music behind. Yeah, Amarillo by Morning, something like that from Port George Strait. And it'll be like me and Kafuzi chatting at a bar. That's what it's going to be like when we tune in. So get ready for it. I might even play Amarillo by Morning. Listen out for that when that comes on. I'll put it on sneaky, so he won't know what I'm going on about. Wilco, more importantly, how's your training getting on?
All right, I did the Watford Half on Sunday, and I ran round with Ben and PB Petra, although she didn't do a PB. We just had a little trot and went round at sort of like just under 10-minute miles. Had a nice chat, a beautiful day, and yeah, it went really well. I was really pleased. Although one thing came out of it that I thought I'd throw open to the floor, because it was organised by our good friends at Active Training World, who always do a great job with their races, and people were collecting their t-shirts before the race. Now, putting aside all the don't do anything new on race day and things like that, because for a lot of us it was a training run and things like that. Nice yellow t-shirt with Watford Half finisher on it, and people were running in them. Now, would you run in a t-shirt that said you'd finished a race?
No,
before you'd actually finished it.
That's a good topic, that. Because like there's them races. I might be wrong, but didn't Hayden get his Berlin t-shirt before at the expo? And it's the same with Chicago, isn't it? You get your
don't know, maybe.
No, but at Amsterdam they gave us our t-shirt, but I don't know whether it had the word finisher on it.
This had Watford Half, lovely yellow one with a sort
I would ask Speed
like
but
football badge.
He's not got his anymore. Oh, sorry, stay there. Live on TV, stay there.
What's going on now?
He's trying to find it in his pile of top.
He's now got to go through 300 race t-shirts in his oh no.
He knows where it is.
I'm back.
He knows where it is. It's like it was all meant to be.
I'm back. If you're listening to this on the podcast, I've just got up and gone into the wardrobe. I've just gone and got my Amsterdam one, which is a small. Speak out if you're listening. Mine's a small, fits me very well.
I don't think it says finisher, does it?
No, it says something Amsterdam. It's got Tata Consulting Services. If they want to sponsor the pod, they can. Just email. How do they get in touch?
It's
40runs.com/long run.
So TCS, if you want to sponsor this, the biggest independent running podcast in the world and in Mars. I've asked Musk to send it out there. No, it doesn't have finisher written on it, which is interesting because I think the Berlin one did have finisher written on it.
See, I wouldn't wear it.
Well, look, Hayden's just commented. Actually, he's still listening. Bless him.
Oh, he must have a break between numbers.
Berlin and Chicago both give you a finisher's t-shirt at the expo. You can buy the Berlin one regardless of even running it. That's criminal, isn't it?
No, that is interesting, isn't it?
Hayden, does it have finisher on it, the Berlin one?
Yeah, does it? Let us know. Well, hang on, admin, give the boy a chance. They probably all put their teeth back in and now he's got to go up and do his next number.
No, I think the support acts have got another couple, so he's got a little bit of time.
Bless him. No, I don't know whether I agree. I don't know whether I would wear a finisher top before I'd run. No, I wouldn't. I'd save it for afterwards because
I think that was the consensus people were saying on Sunday. But it was a great run. It's pretty hilly at Watford, but it's a nice little test. If you know, I mean, the other two went off and did another 2 miles, so they did 15. But no, I went to the bar.
Well, nice. So what's next for you, Wilco, in terms of races?
I did what race-wise? Race-wise, on that day that you're doing Cambridge, I'm going to do the Chelmsford Half because I've done Cambridge twice. Mm-hmm. One of my bugbears is the fact that the Chelmsford and that Cambridge Half Marathon are organised on the same day, because I would have thought that people like us where we are, we'd probably do both of them, wouldn't we? They're both easy places to get to. And I'd like to do both in 1 year, but unfortunately,
Cambridge is the wrong price. It is about $3,000. It's like Hackney. It's about $3,000 to enter it, isn't it? So
I've just gone to Chelmsford this year because I've done the other one twice. So I thought I'd go somewhere different.
I think you'll like it. It's a rolling course. It'll be just fine.
But compared to 2 or 3 weeks ago, I'm in a lot better place for me running. And I did 15 miles yesterday and managed to get 5 miles of marathon pace in the middle, which I've never.
Good for you, bruv. Yeah, you know what? I would recommend that to anybody. If it was, I was talking to one of the clients. I was talking about this in terms of, starting to, if you can, it depends what your goal is, right? If you're just looking to finish, then it's not the end of the world. But if you can start, if you can sprinkle some of that goal pace into those long runs, right? Yes, it's really important to be fit and to be strong for those high efforts, right? For those gut busting ones that come at you in the week. But, you know, there is a real benefit for, you know, switching it up on those long runs, even if you just do the last 2 miles at goal pace. Yeah.
It breaks them up as well, although I've been feeling it today, I've got to say.
Yeah, you will, bruv. And we're getting into that period now, week 7, where everybody's going to be tired because you've gone up that first part of the mountain in terms of your distance and your effort, right? The next week or 2, everyone's going to be thinking, oh, I don't fancy this marathon training much. I can't run more than 40 minutes without getting tired. That's just broke me. You know, you get all that doubt. You know, you remember, Wilco, you've been through it. You know what I mean? We've all done it before. And you're on that horse and it's still bucking you around, you know, and you just want to get off of it, but you can't. You've got to stay on it because you will last the 8 seconds. So it's really important just to the next couple of weeks just to bite down and just cowboy up because everybody's going through the same thing. If you're, you know, wherever you are.
I know we've talked about it not being a weekly plan. I think the fact that this stage has come in February is quite good because I've sort of like signalled in, right, 4 weeks, get your head down, 28 days in February, crack on.
I'll tell you what I think's helped you, Wilco, is now it's not blowing smoke up my own rear, but where we set you guys up in Hertford for that 6 weeks, that I think, and it's helped the Broxbourne guys, it really does, it singles you, focuses your mind because you're in that 6-week period. You're right, I'm going to work my bits off for 6 weeks, relax, and I'm going to go again. And it just breaks it up. And I would recommend that to anybody, you know, even if you're not part of one of our satellite groups or clubs, go onto the website, you can check them out. But, you know, if you are marathon training, break it down into those blocks. We spoke about it at length on one of the podcasts that we did about breaking it into the marathon training block into, you know, these blocks. And it's the same principle. Half marathon training, or even if you're going for a fast 5K and you're doing like a 12-week plan of, you know, try and break it up a bit. And whether that's 2-3 week blocks,
it also
whatever.
breaks up your week and it helps you organise the rest of your running because you know on a set day a week you're going to be doing one session where you're going to be really putting it in.
Yeah, you got to put a shift in once a week. You've got to put a really good shift in, and with a long run, and you'll be just right. It's definitely.
Yeah,
definitely.
I mean, this was about the time. Well, 2 weeks from now was about the time in the plan, about week 9 when COVID struck before Dublin when we came back from the GNR. So I'll be interested to see where I am. I feel like I'm ahead of where I was for that plan. Be interesting to see where I am in 2 or 3 weeks' time.
Yeah.
I mean, I've got a question for you because I can't remember. Are you doing Great North Run?
Yeah, first one.
You are doing Great North Run. Yeah, I can't remember who's doing it and who's not.
Although I'm telling everyone now, I'm not going near anyone because it's 3 weeks before Chicago, so I'm not getting close.
Don't get caught like we did.
Look,
you're doing a race where there's 60,000 people. You can't say you're not going near anyone.
Yeah, don't go near. I wouldn't go near anyone, especially Wilco because he was the super spreader. Like,
well,
what?
Mel's a super spreader. Is Mel going to Great North Run?
Stay away from Mel. She's the super spreader. So, no, it does. I tell you what, the guys. I don't know if you saw it in the Facebook group. They've been because I was thinking about the summer, but they're organising the Harp 24, which is an endurance event. There's loads of guys doing that. If you want some more information on that, Alan's organising that with Carolyn. I don't know whether Hayden's going to be there. I think he might have a concert local.
Maybe he's got a gig at Harp 24.
Yeah, maybe. I'm not sure. But either way, there's the Harp 24. Check that out. That's the sort of next thing that's coming in the summer. But I was thinking about it because I think after this marathon training block, I might try and knuckle down on because I really missed out on that 10K because it's always a good one to do that winter 10K because you can step on it a bit.
Yeah.
But because you've got when's because the King's getting his crown and all that business, right?
7th, 8th of May.
I mean, it's a bit inconvenient because I think that's going to muck some races up, isn't it?
Well, Vitality still haven't launched or announced the date of that 10K yet because it's usually first weekend of May the 1st or whatever, the bank holiday. But then we've got the bank holiday the following Monday as well. So I've got a feeling they're going to do it either one of those weekends. But which one?
Usually bank holiday at the end of May, isn't it?
What's that?
The Vitality. It's usually the bank holiday at the end of May.
I've not got a clue. I've not got a clue. I was just thinking to myself, but that's the only sort of goal I set myself this year, which I was a little bit annoyed. That's why I was a little bit annoyed about where I got sick, because that's the only real goal I've got this year. Because my I've said it a million times, my 10K is an outliner because the time when I really went for it, I can't remember which race it is. it never bleeding went on Strava.
Strava.
So when I look at it, it drives me up the wall because I know it's not right. And I don't care what they say about times, but I care the fact that it's not. That's just my OCD. I care that it's not right. If that makes any sense, it doesn't matter if it was, 90 minutes, but as long as it was accurate, that's the more important thing for me, is that it has to be accurate. So I wanted to, after this marathon training block's done, get back some fitness, because that's annoying me. My VO2 max is dropped.
I've decided that I'm not going to do a marathon in the autumn this year. Because I'd have done 4 in 18 months and just have a 6-month fallow period, and then perhaps do.
Did you go for Royal Parks?
Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, I can do a few. I'll do a few halves and a few 10K. Just have a little bit more flexibility in what I can and can't do, just for 6 months. And then perhaps next May, I'll be quite interested to see how the Rob Burrow marathon goes in Leeds. I'm sure they'll do that again.
It's going to be huge.
I quite fancy going up there next year.
That's
because
I'm
away. I'd have done it this year instead of Manchester, but I'm away.
I think that Leeds marathon is going to be massive. I know loads of people doing that. It's going to be a really good event. I think you should go and do it, admin.
No, firstly, I spend enough time in Leeds. Secondly, do you know how hilly it is?
Yeah, that's what for you.
Nah, no way.
Why not?
But I think I'll probably do that next year.
We should send Speedgoat. When is it?
It's May.
This year it's May the 14th.
Yeah, so we could send Speedgoat.
I think it's sold out. Is it sold out? Oh, it's right at the back end of entries and stuff like that. I don't know whether it's full up yet, but it's sold out 10,000 tickets.
Wow.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It's a big one. I think we should send Speedgoat up there, admin.
All right, I'll look into it.
Just send him up there. He can
just send him. Just book him in.
Just book him in. The boy. Look, he's going to be tired. He's going to be tired in March, and then he needs something to do in May. So
when does that? When does your bike ride happen?
When is that bike ride happen? Does anyone know?
28th of May. 28th, 29th of May. 28th.
That'll be ideal then. Good warm up.
Yeah, I might have to do a bit more biking between now and then. I was just thinking about it. So on the Monday podcast, they were saying about me doing some biking. I might now I'm back getting like fit again. I might have to do, because I went in the garage last night and the bike was talking to me. So I might have to. Does anyone else have that their equipment talks to them? My stuff does. Maybe it's just me being mental.
It might do you better. In all fairness, mate, it might do you better. Just to have a potter about on your bike a little bit might help.
Well, I just want to get them pedals things, because I've got new pedals.
Oh, they look nice.
Because I fell off the other day in the new pedals, so I've got to make sure I get like in and out of them properly, because that could be a problem apparently.
I think.
Am I going to get off and get my sausage sandwich? Sausage sandwiches. Anyway, should we? Yeah, go on, Admin. Go on.
Like, you can't even drink whilst you ride that bike. That's a problem.
That's
you can't. You haven't ridden over 20 miles.
I'll have Speedgoat going next to me, giving me drinks.
No.
Yeah, like they do in the Tour de France. They have the bloke in the car hanging them out the window.
That's what Speedgoat be doing with his bike.
Yeah, when he's finished and come back for you.
No, he's biking with me. He's told me. He's in the team. He's in the team. Right, look. Right, so I want to talk about this because while Hayden was sitting around the pool today, resting his voice, he did send me some information about the cost. So what this was, right? We was I don't know what it was. You know what it's like. You're just chatting nonsense when you're out running. And we were saying to each other about the majors and things like that, because these guys are off to Chicago. Some people are off to like Tokyo and like, all the majors, right? So we were talking about the cost of them. And it suddenly dawned on me that actually net, believe it or not, I'll come onto it. But if you stop and actually look at the prices, London is relatively cheap, right? Which is I know they make like millions doing that virtual soppy thing, which basically covers, everyone goes on holiday at London Marathon events and has a great time. You've paid for it. Oh, sorry, some of it does go to good use. But apart from that, they could probably make a lot more money, because here we go, right? So Hayden sent me this, and he knows because he's doing them, right? Between going on Saga holidays, he's doing the majors, right? So Chicago, ready? This is race entry, and this is ish, people. Don't start screaming in the comments if I'm a pound out, okay? But Chicago, 250 pounds. If you're in Peru or the Philippines, we're quoting these in sterling, all right? So just get on Google and do the FX. Tokyo, £200. Boston, £200. New York, £300. Berlin, £200. London, 70 quid. That is a huge. Let me just go back through that again. Chicago, 250. Tokyo, 200. Boston, 200. New York, 300. Berlin, 200. London, 70. Now, I don't know what
if you're making a comparison though, it is sort of like, it is more for, because obviously if we're based in the UK, then we're an international entrant into these races apart from London. And if you're an international entrant into London, you do have to pay a bit more. It's about £100, plus you have to pay some sort of environmental tax, like
all right. So let's say worst case is 100 quid.
Yeah.
But they're the price. I'm basing this on what Hayden's like spent. All right. Yeah, he's got a few quid because of all the appearance fees he gets. But if you think about that, you add all that up, that's a lot of money. But London really sticks out at £70. So my question is, one, are we getting value for money? Right. And two, could they get away with putting the prices up? Because we'd all pay it, right? We're like lemmings, aren't we? We're just like idiots. We just carry on. Yeah. We do London. It's 250. So my point is, would you pay £200 but guarantee entry or more entry, right? But maybe you could only do it once or something. Or are you happy to play the ballot, but you get it for 70? Wilco?
It wouldn't be a big factor for me not to pay it. If I got a guaranteed entry and it was, the principle of paying for a guaranteed entry, more for guaranteed entry, I don't particularly agree with. It wouldn't put me off, put it that way.
Abin?
Yeah, I would. I think if you want to do it, you'll pay, right? Because your other alternative is to go and get a charity place, and you've got the pressure of raising £2,000, which is a hell of a lot of money in the current climate to
raise. I don't know anybody's raising money this year.
No, because it's just too much. That pressure is mad. 70 quid is funny, isn't it? Because we give London Marathon events a pretty hard time.
Who does?
Well, I say
don't you tell me with this brush.
Yeah, I was going to say, talk for yourself, mate. They're friends of the show. If they want Wilco, if they want to sponsor it, how do they get in touch?
Oh, they want to drop Sabrina a message.
Yeah, send admin a message saying, we was going to sponsor it, but now you've upset us.com.
I'm just saying, it's all with fair game and yeah. Anyway, 70 quid is a bargain to run one of the world majors. I know, Wilco, you haven't had a chance yet, but we've run London, and it is.
I paid more than that to do Dublin.
Right, exactly. But I'm pretty sure I've paid 50 quid for a half or 60 quid. I reckon Cambridge half was about 60 quid. So.
Right, I'm going to flip it round then. I'll flip it round. All right, hang on. Because you say about upsetting people, right? So, on the basis that London's 70 quid, is people like Limelight Sports, Cambridge Half, Royal Parks, who else? Winter 10K, Human Race Events, whoever they're called. Are they all taking the absolute mickey by charging what they're charging? Because they want like over 50 quid for these races.
It does appear
like,
to be
why Hackney's over 50 quid? I'm sorry, right? But that is an absolute mickey take. Limelight Sports, whoever you're called, that is an absolute liberty what you're asking for that race, because let's be honest, you could do that for 35 quid and you would get more people from the community involved in that race. You're alienating so many people. It's an absolute joke how much you want that.
Yeah, I think there is definitely that, which a lot of these races are charging over the odds. And I think it alienates people in current climate.
A6 10K you can jog on as well. That's Limelight as well.
But to be fair, I only book those races when we find a discount code and they come up half price. If you do, I think I've paid 30 quid for A6 10K this year, which fair enough. To run in London is fair, I think. The problem is though, they have a lot of those races have less entrants. So if they've got 10, 15, I think Winter 10K was about 18,000 people, wasn't it? Versus 40,000 that are doing London Marathon, right? So you've still got to close the roads. You've still got the costs of all of that, the stuff that you've got to do legally to put on a race in those big cities. So I'm not saying I agree with it, but I get why.
How much is Great North Run out of interest?
60, 70 quid.
know how much this is.
70 quid.
See, I don't know whether it's
Plus an average of another 20 quid if I think the membership's about 60 quid as well, isn't it? So you get free ones into.
I get the cost, right? I understand it, right? By the way, how much is Landmarks? If you get in,
I don't know.
It's got to be about 50 quid, isn't it?
Yeah, they're all about the same, aren't they?
I don't mind, right? Here's the thing. I don't have a problem spending more money if money's going to charity. So winter 10K, right? Which is a what's it load of money for a 10K. But here's the kicker, the really good thing about that. That raised close to 700 odd grand for cancer research, which is so good, right?
Yeah.
Is amazing. Absolutely amazing. I wouldn't mind, right, paying 200 quid for a London Marathon event entry, and 100 and something quid of that goes into a pot that then London Marathon events every year picks 10 charities, and that money is distributed towards them. I think that's a cracking way of doing it. So they all get the money.
Yeah.
They're not missing out. They haven't got to rely on us runners to go out and raise it. I'd even do it for 300 quid. But that money then is fairly distributed towards the charities. They all then have to apply. Do you know what I mean? I don't know whether they'd lose that, but I'm sure they could do something like that, and it would be a little bit better, because it just seems 70 quid is really cheap for London. How much is Vitality 10K out of interest?
I don't know. I got it really cheap last time.
They always do that cheap. In fairness to London Marathon events,
yeah,
right? They always, considering we're closing London off effectively for half a day, they still manage to keep the price down. I
mean, these events of all standards, they can. It's because running has now become so popular. I mean, I did that Watford Half last Sunday. Now, 20 odd years ago, when I was working on the paper in Watford, the Watford Half Marathon, which I covered a couple of times for the paper, it was a club event. There was no one going around there in over 2 hours. It was club runners going out to thrash out. You didn't get the social runners that you get now. And it's a completely different. Yeah. They've got this new market now, and everybody's. Well, exploitation is a little bit of a strong word, but everybody's taking advantage of the fact that
they are
running. The park run revolution is now people who started park running when that first started have now moved up and gone on 10Ks, and they all want to do in the big races. They all want to do these events. And consequently, the people who are organising them can afford to charge what they want.
Yeah, I think what was good though about the winter 10K, to your point around the money going to cancer research, was there was transparency around it. So on their emails, it tells you how much has gone to that charity, and it kept updating, like when you got the emails. And I think even when you got your time through or whatever on that day, it gave a running total. And I think someone's just said about London Marathon events, they do a lot of stuff. What did they say? I think for like sporting in underprivileged, supporting underprivileged areas, which is amazing. And I'm sure if I went round, or anyone went round digging for that information, you'd find
it's there. It's transparent. I'm tongue in cheek about the virtual medal, right? But that does go into like a trust, and that is distributed, out to support athletes, to support stuff that's doing good. Yeah. So
and then you've got. The bit that annoys me with that is you've got them doing that, which is brilliant. And then I saw Benny's Running put up a post the other day, and it really got to me because he raised something that hit hard, which was around grassroots. So young kids being told they can't run on a track in certain running shoes. They've got to have spikes. And he was like, these kids have been told they've got to file down the spikes on their shoes before being able to run, or they've got to buy different shoes. You're just alienating people. So you've got people like London Marathon events putting money into these areas. Then you've got England Athletics being absolute numpties telling kids they can't run. It's like, come on.
Well, you think about it, right? We wanted to take the kids that we coach locally to the track. To try and take the kids to a track, right? It's the hardest thing in the world, because they're rented out to clubs who use the tracks, right, and won't let anybody else use them. It's pathetic. They're pathetic. These clubs are alienating so many people, and these facilities are alienating so many people. Like kids, everyday runners, people who are trying to, maybe want to go to the catch, get off the catch to get 5K, who maybe want to go to the track because they want to do a track session, and they feel uncomfortable, they feel alienated, they can't even get on the track because these traditional elitist clubs are like, no one's allowed on, this is ours, unless you want to join us. but then we're going to shout at you because you're too slow. Now, that's being
Can you see the momentum of that changing though?
No, because England Athletics aren't supporting anybody. They're only supporting those sort of clubs. To be honest with you, the way they treated us.
I mean, I don't know because I'm not.
The virtual clubs, which are the biggest growing clubs, you look at the ladies. What's the ladies who are at the national manager? Fantastic group of runners. What are they called? I can't remember what they are.
It was like the black runners, weren't they? The black women.
Yeah, superb community group, right? Yeah. These virtual clubs like ours are springing up. That's the new way. And they're bringing new people into this pastime to get people fit and healthy. But it's all closed off. That money from England Athletics is being pushed in other ways. It's just madness. But it's really disappointing. And it's not going to change because the people at the top aren't changed. They're stuck in their old ways. And that's the thing.
Also, it's the people in those clubs, let's be honest, because the people in those clubs, like the local ones to us, I've inquired so many times about trying to get us on a track for the kids, but also for the adults, because we'd love to do just once in a while a track night. Those people in those clubs could go, do you know what? Once a month on a whatever day, right? We're going to let a different club use it so that we can have it once a month, or a different local club, or just people can go and book it.
Yeah, just anybody.
Just let it happen. And you're like, we're not trying to compete with you. We're all just trying to do the right thing.
Just let everybody come along. And this is the sad thing. But I guess it's the same in any pastime.
It's very common. It's very common in lots of sports.
Yeah,
isn't it?
I guess you get the same. It's all this.
You get football, rugby, cricket, all those sort of things. Yeah.
But there are great clubs. Don't get me wrong, because there are great traditional clubs out there, like Wear Joggers, right? For example, fantastic local club, right? There's some really good clubs out there, people that are well run by good people. So we're not painting everybody with the same brush. But unfortunately, we've come across it here, and Ben was right. There's so many of these, and they're just run by these old people who are stuck in the past. They haven't got a clue about anything, and they just need to get with it, right? Because it's running's for everybody, for all abilities, and everybody should just be able to go and do what they want to do. So stop being like miserable, like me. I think just somebody just made a good point. Part run, how that's so important about what that's achieved and achieving in this country. It's an amazing thing. I know it's not necessarily sprung across everywhere in the world yet, but it's such an amazing thing that it is free, and it just shows you that even if the cost of these big, let's call them big races, Hackney Half is not a big race. I'm sorry, 54 quid, you just do one. But my point is that you can go and still run with people. That social aspect, you can get a little time if you want to do a time, and it's free, and you can do it every Saturday, and that is an amazing thing. So again, take my hat off to all the park run people. I know that's now gotten some money coming in from Brooks, which is good news. To support that and hopefully support the growth of that, and hopefully Brooks, I don't know whether they will, but hopefully they chuck some money at their junior park run as well, because that's really important. I love to see junior park run thriving. I think that's one of the most important parts of park run in general. So I think all of that. But yeah, going back on topic, because Wilco took me off topic and I've upset everybody again tonight. But I just think that London Marathon, if they could probably put the price up. I think no race is worth 70 quid, but I would quite happily pay the same money as like Tokyo and Berlin, but that money's guaranteed to go to the charities. Like they take, because I reckon out of that 70 quid, right? If you think about it, let's think about it. You got 50,000 runners, cost what, £1 million, 2 million, let's say £1 million to close the roads off. That's what I've heard quoted before. You got all insurance and stuff like that. It's a couple of £1 million might probably put it on. But if they charge 60,000 people 30 quid, how much are they going to get? Who's got a calculator?
Hold on. 50,000.
60,000, 30 quid, 1.8.
1.8. So that's got to cover cost, isn't it? That's got to cover cost. Should we say? So even if they charge
£1 million to put on that event, there's no way.
No, you will. No, you got to be. You're right. You got to advertise. You got medals. You got all. Let's give them. Let's give them a little bit more. I think 35 quid. Right? It's 35 quid. But how much is that? That raises like something, and it's so stupid, like 60, 50, 60 million every year. So that's a lot of money out of the pockets of charity. But I don't know. But even if you like took half of the runners, or I don't know, 25,000. Let's say you gave more that guaranteed entry? Would people pay the 300 quid and give the, give that rest of that money? I don't know.
Or would you get, if it was more expensive, if you entered the ballot and it was more expensive once you got a place, just as, like New York this week, $295 that you have to pay before that you commit to paying before you get your place. If you did that, would it be easier to actually get into the London Marathon if you were willing to do that?
Yeah, but
would it put off a lot of people who sort of like, who might think, oh yeah, I'll do this. This will be a laugh,
But all of those other ones are ballots as well. So Chicago, Berlin, and you're still paying more, and they're still a ballot. So Tokyo, all of them, all of those majors are still a ballot.
Yeah.
So it's not like you get guaranteed entry because you're paying 250 quid or 300 quid.
No.
Still in the same position of you put your details in and you see what happens.
So that should they charge more even though the ballot entry but then give more to the charities? Maybe you should have like ballot A, ballot B. I don't know, like one where you're happy.
And what you've also got is, where we are in Britain, we give more to charity than any other country in the world. It's in our makeup that we do these things for charity. Whereas in a lot of places, you don't get people dressed as chickens running the Boston Marathon and things like that, and having, trying to raise money, floats with fridges on their backs and stuff like that. It's a run. It's like people go to blast off and run as much as they can.
Yeah, no, I know what you mean.
But they don't have that they don't necessarily have that charitable aspect of it.
No, they don't. We are as a nation, as you say, we do. It is interesting because one thing that obviously Hayden did say is like, you've got your race entries, but then you've got all the travel and you've got everything. So actually, the majors end up being a what's it load of money. Like
it's a rich man's game, isn't it? Yeah.
If you're in Newcastle to come down and do London, you've got travel, right? And it ain't, if they're running, those trains ain't cheap, right? You then got hotel that's the wrong price, probably. And then you got your travel on the day and back and that. So it still ends up being, best part of a £500 weekend.
And the rest.
Do you see what I mean? It's still a lot of money, isn't it? It's like, if you think about it, for a major, but that in the scheme of things, I don't know. I'd be interested to know, like somebody out in the States, I know we've obviously got a lot of people who listen to this in Tokyo, but let's just, look at the States because that's where a lot of the majors are. How much is it, does it cost once you paid your 300 quid or whatever it is that you done? Or do you, because I suppose America's such a big place. You still then got the travel on top of that. So it's still, it's going to work out a lot of money, isn't it? So I think relatively London's cheap. It is a cheap, but the flip side is obviously to get the guaranteed entry, which I don't know whether you can do in the other races. I know like Boston, obviously, you've got to qualify at the time and all this stuff. But to do a charity place, you are, as you say, you're talking $2,500. And then you've still got the cost of all the other bits. And then you've obviously got the stress of trying to raise that money, which is, I don't know. Right, I touched on it earlier. I don't know how people are going to, that money. I don't know how they're going to do it this year with everything going on in the world. I think you're amazing. If you're out there fundraising at the moment, you're my hero because that must be so hard on top of all the training and to try and be raising money for amazing charities. Yeah, really unbelievable charities that need the money more than any time. But then to try and be out there trying to rattle a tin, do you know what I mean? And you're incredible, really. So if you're listening to this and you are raising money, you're amazing. And this year
it's even harder if you're trying to raise for a marathon abroad because people are like, oh wow, I'm paying for your holiday, am I?
Yeah, it's true. It is. It's. I tell you what, it's tough out there. But the thing, go on, Emmy.
I was to say, JBS has just put up a comment saying he's saying about costs for New York and the air flight and the hotel, but he said the race was nothing. I got it cheaper as I had guaranteed entry. How did you do that?
How did you get guaranteed entry?
Yeah, that's what I mean. How did you get guaranteed entry to New York so the race doesn't cost you anything? JBS, if you're still there, can you let us know?
Maybe it's one of them sports tours people.
Yeah,
he's paid for the flights and hotel. It looks like he's booked them because he said, we'll wait to hear from him, I'm sure.
Yeah, right, because you can do that with Berlin, can't you? You can do guaranteed race entry and hotel and that. And I don't know how much it is. I've got, for some reason, I've got 400 quid in my head. I think that's not right, but you can. There's those travel companies out there.
Yeah.
They get those spots, and you can do it. But again, that's a lot of money, isn't it? It's I suppose it's like anything, though, isn't it? But you can spend 10 grand on a bike.
Here we go. He said the first 1,000 to get on the virtual race got complimentary entry.
Oh,
So it sounds like if you do the virtual New York Marathon,
right.
and you're one of the first 1,000 to sign up for that, you then get free entry for the next year's New York Marathon.
I wonder how much, JBS, how much is the virtual New York? Be interested to know. Because maybe we should all be doing that. Because that's open, isn't it, now, the ballot for that?
Yeah.
Well, surely you could do that when you do your other marathon. We could do that when we do Manchester.
Well, this is what I'm saying to you. I could be. No, hang on. It's New York's November, isn't it?
Yeah. New York, the ballot's open now. The race is, I think it's the 5th of November or somewhere around there. It's early.
Yeah. So I could do. So if I did that virtually, JBS, I get guaranteed.
I think you've got to do it virtually on the day last year, is what I'm guessing. So
that's fine. That's all right.
But then you get free for next year.
Yeah, but that's brilliant. Imagine if, because you did London virtual this year, you got entry guaranteed.
No, then that's a brilliant idea.
Yeah.
Now I would do that if London said, right, the first 2,000 of you who sign up for the virtual for 25 quid, all that money's going to charity, by the way. Awesome. Out of that 2,000 of you, you're going to get guaranteed entry at, I don't know, even 70 quid. I'd pay it. But you're going to get 2,000. You're going to get guaranteed entry for next year in London. That's a brilliant idea.
It is, although it does isolate people that only ever want to do one marathon. So they go, this is a once in a lifetime.
Yeah, that's true.
Bucket list thing. If you think you've got to do 2, then that's quite, for a lot of people, could be quite.
And hard. Also, if you were doing it on your own, you're doing your first one and you're running along, the
Lee Valley.
Yeah. Along to the White Water and back again and back again.
Yeah,
back
8
again,
times.
Be
a bit soul destroying, wouldn't it? There's got to be some. I tell you, I think we've stumbled across something here, guys, in terms of a topic. It's definitely we need to talk about this some more. I think we definitely need to get Hayden when he's back from Saga trip. We definitely need to get him on the case. Mind you, probably won't be able to speak. He might have lost his voice from all the singing, but we need to get, because obviously he's doing them all, right? So it'd be interested to get that. But
we could do a majors special, couldn't we?
We could do. But I think we make him do them first. Because otherwise he's just going to claim all this stuff and then he's not going to do them. So he needs to back it up with some proper evidence, hard evidence. We need someone to go out and do Tokyo, to come on and talk about that. We need someone to go and do Boston. So, between everybody, then we can get everybody on here and talk about it. And then we can then establish whether London is cheap. Because I think it is.
Look, Hayden's going to cover Boston. I'll cover Chicago.
Who can cover Tokyo?
Good question.
Yeah. And then we've got London. I can cover London.
Yeah. And then someone can cover New York when they get into that.
JBS, we get JBS on.
Yeah, JBS.
Yeah.
JBS can talk about that. And then we're sorted, aren't we?
Yeah. Berlin.
By the way, I've got to give a shout. I can't remember who it was, but somebody was in Las Vegas running. My hero.
Oh, yeah, I saw that.
What a hero. Absolutely. I'd love to. That's bucket list stuff. Run down the strip. That would be amazing. That really would. That would. I'd tell you what, I'd rather spend 300 quid and go and do that than the others.
Marathon in Vegas.
Everybody else's dreams are different, aren't they? Everybody else's ambitions. You can do what you want.
Yeah,
That's
because
the beauty of this thing.
I can fly into Dallas. I can go to Billy Bob's, which is biggest honky tonk in the world. We can go there, right? Then we can hop over to Vegas. We can run down the strip. We can hang out in the Jericho National Park for a bit afterwards. Sit there, sleep under the stars with the saguaros and all that. And then we can then hop back, go back to Dallas, go Fort Worth, something like that. That's where Billy Bob's is. And then we could probably go down to the Alamo, do a bit of running down there. And then we could go Juarez, we could go Mexico. And then we can come back to New York. We go Baltimore, see Thomas from Believe in the Rum. Because he probably would have missed me by then. And then we can fly him. What a great trip that would be. That
sounds brilliant, mate. We wish you well.
That would be a good trip.
I can't wait to
have a great time.
We do a lot of dancing.
Now, before I do the closing
yes.
credits and say hello to everybody, we'd love you to do us a few reviews. We're pushing for reviews, aren't we, Chris?
Yeah, we
Tell
need reviews.
people,
If you don't review
tell the
this,
world how lovely we are.
if you don't review this is slowly going to slip down the charts. You've got the running channel who now copy us by doing a podcast. They were so envious of the reception we got at the National Running Show. They thought, you know what, we're not making enough money. We need more money from all these people like Decathlon and that lot. We're going to do more. We're going to do more unbiased shoe reviews at Decathlon, and we need more money. So they've now launched their podcast. So
They've got posh armchairs and everything.
Huh?
They've got posh armchairs and everything.
We've got armchairs, everything. We ain't got armchairs. I've got this chair that goes down by itself, and I've got my dressing gown behind me. I've got my house coat.
Yeah, I'm still sat at my workstation from work today.
See, this is raw, hardcore, unfiltered podcasting at its best.
Can't get much rawer than this.
No, independent. So anyway, we need to review it, people.
So please give us a review on your favourite podcaster of choice. So thank you very much, everybody, for joining us tonight. And Chris, I've got to say, Sebs, he's done a top job on the our production, hasn't he?
Yeah, I mean, we've got through it.
Well, he's getting the hang of it.
I'm just putting on my small Amsterdam finishers top that I got before I started. Small. Speak out. He won't be listening. It's small.
So if we could have a big shout out as well to our very loyal and lovely sponsors, Skechers. Now we're still getting a 10% discount with a code at Start Fitness, aren't we?
Yeah, 40 runs is a code. Start Fitness.
Okay, so use that, please, folks. We are on Facebook and YouTube every Friday at 7 o'clock. But if you cannot catch us live, rest assured you can hear us on your podcast provider of choice, whether that's Apple, Amazon, Spotify. So you can take us out in your long run, listen to us, and give us a review. That'd be brilliant. Don't forget, if you've got a question, drop us a line at 40runs.com/long-run. We've got a couple in the bag. We'll try and we hope to get through a few today, but we waffled on a bit too much, so we'll try and get some more in. But we've got some really good ones, so hopefully I'll use them next week. So thanks ever so much for that. Follow the 40 Runs running community page on Facebook, and we've got a Facebook profile as well, the Long Run. So jump on there and be one of our friends. That'd be lovely. Thank you very much. So enjoy your running this week. Take care out there, and we'll see you next Friday.